Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is your favorite dad back once again with two dads minus one talking shh. Unfortunately, my co-host Daniel will not be able to join us here today. As everyone knows, we just had the Thanksgiving holiday, and at Daniel's Thanksgiving party, they didn't just bring turkey. No, they didn't. They didn't just bring ham. They didn't just bring the stuffings and the cranberries and the pies. Somebody decided to bring a little COVID along with them as well. So Daniel, our buddy, has COVID. So he will not be joining us here today, but we are still going to have a very exciting show for you here today. First, before we get rocking and rolling, let's do the oath. Okay, the oath goes as says, I pledge allegiance to the STA. United we are strong, divided we are weak, and we don't laugh as much. With liberty and justice for all. Amen. Well, I have an exciting, since Daniel was not able to join us here today, I have an exciting guest that I'd like to bring on. Not only are they going to be my co-host today, they also are going to be our show producer moving forward. I'd like to introduce you to my friend of probably about 25, 26 years, Miss Sarah Taylor.
Hi.
Hey, Miss
Hey.
Say hello to the STA Army out there.
Hello, Army. Really excited to join you today. Like Logan shared, maybe fortunate, maybe unfortunately, I've known him for more than half of my life at this point. And really excited to get to participate in helping craft some of the stories that you all are going to be hearing. I'm thrilled to be here and partnering in the production of this podcast. My passion really lies in crafting and telling stories. So I can't wait to share some pretty amazing narratives with you all. Today, we have a truly unbelievable story from a really special guest. And I'm so incredibly excited that we get to bring this to life for you. So thanks for joining us. And Logan, why don't we just dive right into what really promises to be an inspiring and captivating episode.
Well, with the holidays upon us, and people that have listened to a few of our shows, you've probably heard me mention Hallmark. Well, this is going to be a Hallmark-esque type of show. And at the very end, we are going to need your help bringing love to the forefront. So without further ado, let's introduce you to our special guest here today. Her name is Kati, and she's joining us from Seattle. Hey, Kati.
Hello, STA universe out there.
Well, Shit Talking Army, so that's what it stands for. My mother doesn't like me cursing so much, so I'm like, okay, Mom.
Neither do my kids, but they've learned to adjust.
Exactly. Well, thank you for joining us. You have such a unique story that we would love to share with our audience. And like I told them a moment ago, at the very end, we're going to have a very special ask of them. Why don't you, Kati, just tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you here today?
All right. Well, as you said, I live up in Seattle, Washington. I'm actually about 20 minutes south of the city. Moved back here in 2019 after living away for a while, concentrate on getting a degree and getting a job and dealing with family stuff. So I've been back here since 2019 and got my degree and have a great job. And family stuff
you just got a rest today, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. And, have kids and grandkids in the area. So everything's finally settled down. I'm an empty nester and it's time to start dating again. So that's where I have been at.
Now, with that being said, what has your dating experience in Seattle been like up to this point?
Kind of hit and miss. I've had a series of very lovely, nice dates with very decent, nice guys, but no real sparks. Up here, I'm getting older. Like I said, I'm an empty nester, so pickings are slim to begin with. Plus, up here we have a large polyamory community, so it's just another level of having to filter out and filter through people, and it's just a lot of noise in trying to find your person.
Well, tell us this, because we know that obviously there was a date that happened, but what we would like to hear about before we get to that magical moment, there was a moment that, how did you meet this gentleman? And, the gentleman, at least that you thought you were meeting, and did you have conversations? What did that look like? I've been out of the dating scene for a while. I've been married for coming up on 17 years. So I'm a little rusty of how you kids do it these days, but what led up to this experience that we're going to go over here today?
Well, it's 2025, got on the apps about 7-8 months ago and started to try and find people. So I've been mainly on Tinder and just swiping left a whole bunch, swiping right occasionally. And I had met up with, started talking to somebody on there, and they seemed really nice. So I wanted to meet, and Pike Place is a good romantic first date setting. So we agreed on Pike Place at the Pig. Easily identifiable, easy to find, everybody can be happy. It's a great setting for any kind of get together. So I figured it would be great. And he seemed really nice. As far as I knew from our conversation, he was local. He was based over in Bellevue, had some older kids. We had a bunch in common. So it was worth finding out.
Okay. So I heard you say as far as you knew, what'd you find out when you met him? Really?
Well,
how did you guys even find each other once you got to the market?
Well, I had sent a text saying, I'm getting close to the Pig, and put my phone in my pocket because, politeness, you're not on a phone during a date. You're trying to concentrate and learn about the other person. So I got to the Pig and I looked around, and this guy looked up and looked right at me and gave me a huge smile, walked over, and didn't exactly look like his pictures, but, people do stuff to their photos online. Was a bit taller than I was expecting. I thought he had said he was like 5'11" to 6 foot, and this person was obviously 6'4", 6'5". But he smiled at me. He came over, gave me a great big hug, was like, "Hey there, let's go." And I rolled with it. I went with it. And so we started at 8. He had the first thing that kind of ticked me off that this may not be exactly normal was when he said it was
that's
his
what I want to hear about. Like, how'd you realize that, wait a minute, who did I just walk off with?
So he mentioned that he had never been to Pike Place, and it clicked in my head. Like, you said you were in Bellevue, but you've never been to Pike Place. I guess it's possible, but that's weird. So I kind of grabbed him and started showing him Pike Place. I took him, we watched a fish get thrown. I took him to the gum wall. He had exactly the right reaction, which is absolutely being horrified, but yet needing to take out the camera to take a couple pictures because nobody's going to believe it, right? And we went down to the Golden Age Collectibles, which is a comic book store. We went to the magic store, showed him the big shoe museum, wandered around the market. We got a humbao. I got to show him, introduce him to humbao. And he insisted on buying me some flowers. We had been wandering around, and he pulled out his debit card and they didn't take it. So he found a place that would take it so that he could make sure to buy me a little bouquet of flowers before we left. And we went out to the scenic overlook and we had some kisses and some hugs, and it was wonderful. While we were out there talking, there were just a couple of things. I had picked up that he was from Denver, which was like, okay, well, maybe he was in Bellevue working, because that happens a lot here. And he mentioned that he still had teenagers at home, and one was going to be going to CSU next year, whereas the person thought I was talking to had 2 older children. So I was just like, okay. And then he mentioned he did go to Columbine High School. And I was just like, oh, okay. That high school, yep. And we just continued the date. We had a wonderful kiss. He gave me a great big hug. He had to get back to his hotel. And I, kind of floated down to my car in the parking garage and set all my stuff on the seat and picked up my phone and looked at it. And there was a series of very angry texts from my actual date.
No.
Where are you? What happened? I've been waiting 20 minutes. You didn't seem like this kind of person. What the heck?
Oh, no.
And it was that moment that I realized I went on somebody else's date.
Did you run looking for him?
I tried. I was also trying to text that guy a lame excuse to like not be such a dick, but I am totally the dick in that one.
Like, what was your first feeling when you just sit in your car, you get these messages, you realize like, Houston, we have a problem. Like,
honestly, my first thought was,
were you numb, or
I just met the man of my dreams and I don't know his name or his number. This is weird.
Now, when you said goodbye to each other, were you at his hotel? Were you at his hotel, or where were you when you said goodbye to each other?
We were still at Pike Place. It's a large area. It takes a big section of, downtown. It's quite large. You can explore it for a while, and there's several levels. So we were just back kind of where we started, and he went off to his hotel, and I did not find him again. So
did you know if he drove down there, or if it was the hotel was in walking distance, or?
Most likely within walking distance. He did not drive.
So when he told you that he was in Seattle, was he there for work? Did he say?
Did not. He just said that he was flying back to Denver the next morning, and we should keep in contact so that we could plan a trip for me out there. And I was like, well, if things work, that would be wonderful. Wow. I would be up for that. And yeah, unless I find him, that's not going to happen.
And during the whole time,
you're gonna find him. We've got a mission out here now.
Right, but so during the whole time that you were that whole hour, I guess, as you said, you were together, neither one of you used each other's names at all.
No, it felt so natural from that first moment that it never even occurred to me to go, "Hey, Bob."
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm Katie. Nice to meet you. It was such an instant connection, and like I said, he hugged me, and I actually leaned up and gave him a kiss immediately. The connection was that strong from the start. Neither one of us questioned it. Neither one of us said each other's names. It was just honestly one of the strangest, most magical experiences. Like, it was the best date that I've had in easily 10 years. And not that I've done a ton of dating in that time, because like I said, I've been preoccupied with other goals, but it was literally like, this is it. Oh my gosh.
Well,
and then
let's
go back a little. You realize you didn't meet up with the right guy. Sorry, Logan.
No, go ahead.
Did you go running back?
No, like I said, I started texting the guy that I was on the date with, or that I was supposed to meet, going, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." It was, I made up some horrible lame excuse that I'm sure that he did not buy. Like, I realized that in that situation, I'm totally the bad guy because that was my bad. But I did go back up. I did not see the other guy at all. So,
wow.
And then I locked my keys in my car, so it turned into a really
insult to injury.
Yeah. Thankfully,
all right, so two things I know our listeners are going to want to know. First and foremost, did you ever go on a date with the guy you were supposed to go on your date with? And what was that experience like? And then we want to get back to your other date.
Like I said, I made up a lame excuse, but he was actually still at Pike Place. So we met up about 10, 15 minutes later, and it was not a connection. I have not heard from him since. I do not expect to hear from him. Like I said, I gave him a really lame excuse, and I'm sure he didn't buy it. And it's just like, this girl's a flake, and that's fine. Everybody that you meet in your life.
I was sitting here wondering, what if it was the real guy, but he just pulled a weird game?
No,
and this is went and met up with the real one.
But this is what's been killing me: is what is this guy in Denver thinking? Because did his original date stand him up? And he's texting me afterwards going, "This was so great and wonderful." And she's looking at the phone going, "I didn't meet you. What the heck?" Or did he get the same series of upset texts that I got after he got back to his hotel, or after he checked his phone? Was he scrambling to figure out who the heck and what the heck?
I wonder if he flew in to meet that girl.
Real life connection that he saw you and he thought, wow, she's digging this and I'm digging this. We're doing this.
Okay, so we're gonna have to play a little game here, because STAs, our mission is to find this man. You know, we have our own version of the movie of Sleepless in Seattle. We're going to call this, Where Are You, Mr. Lakewood? Because he lives in Lakewood, Colorado, from what we know. So what we're going to, you've kind of given us a general description of him, but we have to kind of grind down to the granular, like every little minute detail you can think of him, so our audience members can say, hey, that's the guy that works at my office, or that's the guy that, you know, everyone has a barista or a bartender, or you know, he bowls on Thursday night in the bowling league, and you know, or someone knows, like, hey, I that kind of sounds like the guy that I know that his kid's going to CSU next year. That kind of fits that description because we were in Little League or something together. So, to your best recollection, from the first moment you come walking up and he hits you with that 1,000-watt smile.
Well, like I said, he's very tall. He's 6'4", 6'5", so he would definitely stand out in a crowd. He had shortcut, you know, very preppy styled, nice hair, but
what color?
Brown hair. He had very kind eyes. I think they were either like a dark green or a light brown. And like I said, I picked up a whole bunch of like little tidbits. Like I said,
beard, no beard, facial hair,
clean shaven. Okay. He had on a red maroon shirt and very nice dress slacks, nice shoes. And like I said,
dress shoes, boat shoes, preppy kind of,
just nice dress shoes.
Like you think he has a white collar job or more of a tradesman?
He did. The one thing I do remember, I don't remember what industry he worked in, but he does work from home. So he probably has, you know, some kind of a techie or other type of maybe sales, maybe CEO type stuff. I have no idea. Okay. But what I do remember is he's definitely from Lakewood, Colorado. Okay. And he has 2 kids at home, one who is heading to CSU, and he is a Columbine alumni.
Did he say boys or girls for the kids?
I think his oldest was a boy.
Okay.
The one that's going to CSU. Okay. And that's literally like all I know. We were talking about everything else and life and just enjoying each other and on the date and watching like the fish getting thrown and seeing the gum wall and, you know, going on the waterfront and seeing all the beautiful views that we have here. So it was
really romantic.
It was very romantic, and it was honestly the most perfect date I think I could imagine having. So he has set the bar high for everybody else.
I think we should call this All I Want for Christmas is a Second Date.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
At least a phone number and a name.
That's right. At least a phone number and a name.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm just like driving myself nuts going, what was he thinking? Like, does he just think I ghosted him? You know, does he think that he had this great date and that I just went away and was like, nope, never mind afterwards? Or like I said, did he get the same series of like angry texts from the girl that was supposed to meet him?
Can you imagine?
Right. I just wonder if he flew in to meet this girl and, you know, like, he didn't say what brought him there. He just happened to be there. And obviously you must have one of those faces that looked like somebody that he thought he knew. Cause I know myself personally, you don't just walk up and just hug a random stranger. You get
right. And he, like I said, he looked close enough to the pictures where it was like, okay. And I've known enough tall guys in my life that I know a lot of them like misstate their height to avoid the tall girly or the tall boy girlies. You know, that's all they're looking for. So I really didn't think too much about the height being off or the pictures because 2025 Photoshop AI, you know, all the dating profiles are so wonky as it is, and you're taking your chances every time you swipe.
Right.
Now, what did he order when you went? Because you said you went for a pastry or a coffee.
A humbao. Okay. A humbao is a baked bun, basically, and it had barbecue pork in it.
Okay.
So we both got the same kind, and he really liked it.
What kind did you get in case?
Barbecue pork.
Okay. All right.
They're good. They're tasty.
Yes, I'm kind of hungry. You just got me wanting one right now. So approximately how old would you say he was? You know, did he have any kind of wrinkles or any kind of fine lines or
being Gen X, it's really hard to pin down ages. But I would say mid 40s to early 50s, kind of in my same age range. Like he did not seem that he would be too much younger than me or very much older than me. So I would peg him in late 40s, early 50s.
Now,
Katie, when did this happen? Date?
11/23.
11/23.
All right.
So the Sunday
approximately
before
what time of day?
Huh?
Approximately what time of day?
2 p.m.
2 p.m.
2 p.m.
So, Army, who do you know who was out of town in Seattle on the 23rd of November and came home on the 24th?
And lives in Lakewood, Colorado.
Yeah.
Now, you described his height. What was his build like?
He was very muscly.
Okay.
He was very sturdily built. The arm that I was holding onto as we were walking along definitely was very muscly, and he's definitely working out. May have been a former football player or sports person. Really had that kind of big, stocky build.
What was his personality like? Like, if you had to describe,
he was. It sounds so sappy, but he was just like perfect for me. Like he laughed at all my bad jokes. He made a few of his own to show that, he could hold his own. And our conversation just flowed so naturally that I was entranced, it just kind of fell.
Wow. So what did you talk about specifically? Because you said you didn't use names and all, but what was the conversation in and around? I mean,
I was mainly playing tour guide because, as you can tell, I tend to be a bit chatty. Okay. So I just kind of grabbed onto him and was like, hey, let's go check this out. If you've never been here, you should see this. And you should see, you should see the gum wall. You should see the
where did you take him? So like, if he's out there listening, he could be like, that's me. I went to that place, or I did that.
The first thing we did was we went to Tanzano Mommy, which is more of a hippie type of store. It's got all the incenses and body stuff, and it's got like a mini apothecary in there. And somebody dropped something, and we immediately ran back out of the store together. It was just like, nope, we're out. Never mind.
And then did it stink? Like what?
No, it was just somebody had dropped something with glass shattering, and we were just like, that's not us. We're just going to go. Okay. We don't need to deal with that. And like I said, we went down to the gum wall, and he was properly horrified, took his camera out, took pictures. And after that, we wandered down to the Golden Age Collectibles and the Magic Store. And in the Magic Store, we actually joked about some of the, fun little magic tricks that you could buy when we were little, like the fly in the ice glass type of thing, fake gum. And then I showed him the shoe museum, which is a must if you go to Pike Place, and you have to find it. It's a corner. And then, we just wandered around the vendors and picked up a bit of food, commented on this and that and the other thing, and just had a general conversation that, like I said, it just kind of flowed. So I didn't pay attention to a whole bunch of stuff because I also thought I had his number.
Right. Now, the other gentleman that led you to the date, how long had you been talking to him before you decided to go on?
A few weeks. I don't move quick.
I just keep thinking about wait, you don't live in Bremerton? Wait, you don't? Yeah. Right? Like
all of it was going through my head, but I'm like I said, I've been trying to get out there and date a little bit more intentionally and trying to get outside of my comfort zone because I work at home. I don't meet new people. I don't join a whole bunch of groups or anything. So it was just one of those, maybe I mixed up my conversations in my head. I was like, is this really the guy? Maybe I told this guy 2:00 at the Pagan. Maybe that's my date next weekend. I thought it was me. Like, I think all of us do when we're faced with a situation where the information wasn't what we assumed. A lot of the time we just think it's us, like, oh, I must have gotten it wrong.
Right. And this would have taken a totally different turn if the guy was a creep. Because you were like, ooh, creep, and all these red flags, nothing adds up. But he was a total prince.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, are we out of time, Logan? Time to wrap it?
I think sorry, my kid just called, of course, and my wife's phone is attached to this computer. Can you still see me?
Yeah.
Okay, because I can't see you guys, and I don't know how to get back to there. Of course, this was gonna.
We lost
So,
him.
There he goes.
And he's back.
let me say this. When I got married, my cousin who officiated our wedding, the Reverend Theron Michael Cunningham, doesn't that sound like real deep South? He looked out to the audience and he said something to the effect of, I want you audience members to be what he coined the term cheerleaders of love. And that's really STA Army, what we're looking for here today. We're looking for cheerleaders of love to help our dear friend Kati find this man in Lakewood. And whatever it takes, we're going to put this out to all the social medias that we can think of. We're going to contact the local newspapers and the TV shows and the radio programs. But we want each one of you, if you are in Lakewood, Colorado, and know someone 6'4", 6'5", very well built, looks like he hasn't skipped a day at the gym, just recently talked about a wonderful trip to Seattle and where he met this wonderful woman and had this magical moment. And he has been just so excited to, that he made this connection. And then since that time, he's been just forlorn because for some reason, she's not answering his text, or he has realized that he went on the date with the wrong person as well. If that sounds like someone you work with, please reach out. We have an email address at Two Dads Talking Shit. It's spelled like it sounds at gmail.com, because we don't want poor Kati getting inundated with, probably some creeps out there. So please send, a name, a number, somehow that we can reach out to you. If you know this man, or if you are this man, please put your information in to that email so we can get you back in touch with this wonderful woman who wants nothing more than to have you under her mistletoe for Christmas.
Yes, thank you.
Kati, anything else you'd like to say to this mystery man out there?
If you do stumble upon this and you're listening, it was the best date I've had in a long time, and I'd really like to have another chance at a second one.
Sarah, anything you'd like to add to the crowd today?
Let's make it happen. Bring this man home for Christmas. Let's do this.
Be cheerleaders of love, and please, please, please tell your friends. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like, please comment, and let's find this man for Kati so he, like I said, he can be under her mistletoe for Christmas. But in the meantime, this is Two Dads Talking Shh, and we're out.